Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing because following the Pledge of Allegiance will be a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we'll have the reading of the notice, please.
The adjourned organizational meeting of the Marathon County Board of Supervisors, composed of 38 members, will convene at the Marathon County Courthouse Assembly Room, 500 Forest Street, Wausau, on Tuesday, July 27th at 7 p.m., and the agenda was duly signed and posted.
Thank you. I would like to request everyone, please put your cell phones or other electronic devices on silent or vibrate as to not interrupt the meeting. And then I would like to ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Arstead. Here. Beestrom. Here. Boots. Book. Here. Butke.
Here.
Christensen.
Here.
Seiler. Here. Conway.
Here.
Dickinson.
Here.
Drabeck.
Here.
Gibbs.
Here.
Gonering. Gums.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Jacobson.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Krause. Here. Lamont.
Here.
Longenhan.
Here.
Leahy. Here. Lowe. Here. Mask. Here. McEwen.
Here.
Oberbeck.
Here.
Opal.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
Rosenberg.
Here.
Schley.
Here.
Seafelt.
Here.
Soibert. Thank you.
Thank you, and I would like to welcome all the visitors that we have with us this evening. I would like to also welcome the viewing audience, and I would also like to welcome every one of the county board members to the first in-person meeting that this board has had since being elected last April. So welcome, everyone. And we will move on to education presentations and/or reports. Item B7, Standing Committee Chairpersons or Designees. Any reports? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to consent agenda, item C8 through item C13B1. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Longenhan and seconded by Supervisor Drabeck. Is there any discussion on any of the consent agenda items? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of the motion to approve consent agenda items C8 through items C13B1 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We will move on to item D14. As per our board rules, we have a vacancy because of Supervisor Stark's resignation to the executive committee. And this election is a paper ballot and therefore a secret ballot so that no one knows who that person, who voted for which person. And so at this time, I would welcome to take nominations for at-large committee, executive committee membership. Supervisor Christensen.
I nominate Bruce Lamont, Supervisor Bruce Lamont.
Any other nominations? Supervisor Seiler.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Supervisor Jean Mask.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Vice Chair McEwen.
I'd like to nominate Supervisor Brent Jacobson.
Any other nominations? Supervisor Krause?
I'd like to nominate myself.
Any other nominations? Supervisor Lamont?
I'd like to take myself off.
Supervisor Lamont has declined the nomination. Supervisor Robinson?
I'd like to nominate Supervisor Conway.
Any other nominations? Supervisor Lowe?
I would like to nominate Supervisor Harris.
Any other nominations? If not, I would accept a motion to close nominations. Motion by Supervisor Butke and second by Supervisor Sly to close nominations. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Nominations are closed. And I will ask the clerk to pass out the ballots. We have 5 candidates. We have Supervisor Mask, Supervisor Jacobson, Supervisor Krause, Supervisor Conway, and Supervisor Harris. So again, please write on the ballot the person you wish to vote for, and then we'll have the clerk collect those ballots.
Here come the lawsuits.
Well, no, but then it's torn. Invalid.
That's true.
Check that.
Check the signature.
Don't sign.
Pass it on down the end.
It's trustworthy.
How many do you have there?
Anyone else want to know?
One letter. I have, he is passing me one, and he fucks it on it, pass it down. Pass it to the end.
Everybody here is alive.
And we got blank ones here.
Okay, you may need them again.
Yeah, it's, let's hope not. But one never knows.
Oh, yeah, because you need 50%. That'd be plus more. Just need majority. Need to start.
While the ballots are being tallied, I'm looking into whether or not the rules say whether or not it is a simple majority, because we have 5 candidates or 5 people that have been nominated, or whether or not we would be dropping the lowest vote total and moving to another ballot. But we're 50% of the quorum present. So then we drop 1. So half got to vote for it.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
He's calling New York for.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Oh, he's not in front of the monitor.
He's got the set up.
50. The rules are clear. It says a majority of the board that is present. So we have 10 absences, and so we would need 15 to receive a majority. And the rules also spell out that if no one candidate has a majority, the top 2 candidates will then be rerun. So, here is the results. You have Supervisor Harris with 5, Supervisor Jacobson with 11, Supervisor Conway with 3, Supervisor Mask with 8, Supervisor Krause with 1. And so the 2 that will be on the second ballot now will be Supervisor Jacobson and Supervisor Mask.
Yeah, he hears a lot of stuff, but he's not a ballot hog.
I don't know, well.
From before.
It's right on purpose. Thank you. I voted early. Thank you.
There's some holdouts here. They're gonna burn for the ballot.
Again, those rules are spelled out in our board rules, and it is 2.01, parent 5, for the election. Okay, and the results of the election are Supervisor Mask received 17 votes. Excuse me, Supervisor Mask received 17 votes and Supervisor Jacobson with 11. So Supervisor Mask is now on the executive committee. Moving on to item E15, that item has been pulled by the Chair of Infrastructure and is taken back, and so that is back to Infrastructure Committee, so that is not going to be an item that is voted on this evening. So we'll move on to item F16 from resolutions. From Human Resources, Finance and Property Committee, a resolution amending the 2021 capital improvement budget for courtroom B, construction / register of deeds remodel in the amount of $186,538 transferred from the 2021 A CIP funding project. Resolution 42-21. This does require a 2/3 majority. This is a budget transfer. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Robinson and seconded by Supervisor Johnson. Is there any discussion? Supervisor Seiler.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I wonder if you could, or if anyone here could just share a little bit of details about this. I did have a call from a constituent just asking for a little more information on what, because that individual thought this was quite pricey, and I didn't really have a lot of accurate information to share at that time. So I was just wondering if you could share with us a little bit more about that process.
I would ask the administrator if he can enlighten us.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chair. So just in terms of background, the microphone should be good. If you can't hear me, let me know. In terms of background, the remodel is essentially creating another hearing room in the Marathon County Courthouse. So you may recall, you created a hearing room A. Excuse me. Hearing room A was created just down the hall from where we're meeting today. It is different from a courtroom in the sense that a courtroom, most of our courtrooms in the courthouse have the opportunity to hold jury trials. Essentially what a hearing room is, it's a smaller room that allows for court hearings that don't require juries. So your traditional hearings in front of a judge. And on the criminal side, you're talking everything from initial appearance to preliminary hearings to sentencings. Those can take place in that courtroom, as well as a great many family court cases or civil cases. And with the onset of the pandemic, we have had, as you may have heard recently in the news, a pretty substantial court backlog. And we had been evaluating whether or not to add an additional hearing room in the past. The pandemic really made that a necessity. So essentially what this does is it takes the existing hearing room A, which is again just down the hall, creates a symmetrical hearing room B by taking some space from the current Register of Deeds office, constructing that hearing room while also purchasing some shelving that allows for the Register of Deeds to operate more efficiently in that space. The quote you have for construction is based on information gathered by Facilities and Capital Management. We're pretty confident in that number based on the construction that we did with hearing room A. I don't know if that answers your question or if you have more
That's
specific
helpful, thank you.
And just if you do have additional information or additional factual information you're looking for within the HR Finance and Property packet when this was considered at a previous meeting, there was the standard CIP request form that spells out the nature of the request, the source of funding, and as the chair said, this is an amendment of the CIP, the Capital Improvement Plan for 2021. There is the prospect of backfilling that with the American Rescue Plan dollars because this would be an approved expense.
Okay, any other discussion, any other questions? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor of the resolution amending the 2021 capital improvement budget for courtroom B, construction / Register of Deeds remodel in the amount of $186,538 transferred from the 2021 A CIP funding. Resolution 42-21. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carried, and it is unanimous, and that is 2/3. Moving on to item F17, approve the 2021 budget transfers for the Marathon County Department of Appropriations, Resolution 43-21. Again, this does require a 2/3 majority vote. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Langenhan and seconded by Supervisor Gums. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the 2021 budget transfers for Marathon County Department of Appropriations, Resolution 43-21, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries, and that also is 2/3 majority. Moving on to item G, County Board of Supervisors, change in supervisory district boundaries, resolution from City of Wausau annexation, Resolution 48-21. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Butke and seconded by Supervisor Dickinson. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of the motion approving the change in supervisory district boundaries resulting from the City of Wausau annexation, Resolution 48-21, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, no. Motion carries, thank you. We will move on to item H, Executive Committee, authorizing to support broadband grant application for Charter Communications to NTIA, Resolution 50-21. Motion by Supervisor Seiler and second by Supervisor Harris. Is there any discussion? Supervisor Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to just give you an update because we've been getting more and more information from Charter as we go. The resolution calls or authorizes the appropriate county officials, county administrator, to enter into an agreement with Charter, subject to the administrator looking at it. We don't have the terms and conditions spelled out, and the thought was that we need to take action by the 17th of August. So what we're giving is the county administrator the ability to enter into discussions with Charter. The thought would be that any agreement would be run by the executive committee at their meeting in August. We've got more clarity as to what the grant is. Again, it's 551.9 miles of fiber, serving 2,370 homes. And originally, they gave us a map without a lot of detail. We've subsequently gotten additional maps, and Gary Hetzer from CPZ has identified the following communities as being served: the villages of Croninwater, Eldron, and Weston, the towns of Bevent, Easton, Eldron, Franzen, Harrison, Hewitt, Gunther, Knowlton, Marathon, Norrie, Mosinee, Plover, Reed, Ringgold, Texas, Wausau, and Weston. Now, the National Telecommunications and Information Act does not allow the use of these dollars in areas that are currently funded through state or where they've committed state or federal dollars. There's no match requirement, but they reward or incentivize those with at least 10%. We're still learning more about it. In our discussions with Celeste Flynn, the representative from Charter, they're really looking for the county to do several things. One is to be the applicant, because there's it requires a partnership. I know the state of Wisconsin Public Service Commission is reaching out to communities. There's approximately $228 million, $288 million available nationwide. They can give out awards from $5 million to $30 million to a recipient for areas that are not served with 25.3. Charter is also working with Kewaunee County, which was the basis for our resolution. They are looking for us, again, to be that applicant. They are asking also that we identify any wetlands in topographic areas. They will prepare the application. They want us to commit to work on eliminating regulatory issues. The Village of Croninwater is a broadband forward community that has already made that pledge. We've talked about trying to expedite that at the infrastructure committee in the past, and I don't see that as a problem here. They've asked us also to identify anchor institutions in the project area. They're not sure at this time. She was not sure if they need letters. We're going to have a meeting with Charter on Monday to try to lay out exactly what those expectations are. But again, there's a timing issue. We need to run this through the board tonight in order to meet the August 17th deadline. They, again, intend to share their draft application with us on August 10th to give us a week to review it, and I would encourage you to support it.
Okay, any other questions? Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to support the broadband grant application from Charter Communications to the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. Thank you. We will move on to announcements and/or requests. Item number I-20. Any, Supervisor Christensen?
30th, Red River Ballroom Marathon. Just another reminder, thank you.
Okay, we have Supervisor Seafeld.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you all know, the fair is coming up next week, as I gave you all propaganda. Hope you can come out, look at all the exhibits out there. The kids work hard all summer long to put on this fair. And I would like to thank the Park Department, Jamie Polly and Greg Frick, and our administrator, Leonard, for helping out getting the Park Department to set up the fair. We made an agreement with them, and everything is going real well. And Little Bird told me somebody is going to be doing some elephant ears out there, and I think it's our administrator, so I'm not sure what day, but you should come out and harass them a little bit. Thank you.
All right, I'd also like to remind everybody that we by our rules, I've got 30 seconds for announcements, so. Do need signatures from Environmental Resources, Public Safety, Infrastructure, HR, Finance, County Board, and Executive. Any Supervisor Gums?
Mr. Chair, my request is with NTC, I was wondering when we're going to have a little story told about the farm again. It's been a long time. We had a lot of money invested. I think a lot of people here don't even know about how that all came to be. Be nice somewhere in the future to have the office president or whatever come and tell us what's going on.
I will check with the new president of NTC, Jeannie Warden, who is the new president for NTC, has taken over. Dr. Ware is retired, and so I will check her availability and see if she is willing to bring a report to the board. Others, Supervisor Krause.
Thank you. I'd like to make the announcement that the Metro Transit System will be getting 3 used buses to replace the ones that, they have 2 buses that break down every day. So they're getting 3 used buses from San Francisco. I don't know when they're going to arrive, but I just thought it might be interesting for people who use public transportation. Thank you.
Okay, Supervisor Harris.
Just a reminder, this weekend is the Mungwasa Festival, so come out. There'll be food, sports, music, great entertainment. So come out, great for the whole family. Thank you.
Supervisor Johnson.
Supervisor Harris kind of stole my thunder there, but this is going to be the largest celebration they've had. It's the 4th annual, the Hmong Festival, and they have an unprecedented number of participants coming from all over, not just Wisconsin, but from the Midwest. And this event brings in millions of dollars in tourism to the area, and it's a great thing for the area, and I encourage everyone to attend if possible. Thank you.
Supervisor Beestrom.
Yeah, I'd just like to remind everybody that the Athens Fair is August 19th through the 22nd. So if anybody is interested and would like to attend an additional fair, rather as opposed to the Wisconsin Valley Fair, you're more than welcome. We have meeting on the first night of the fair and through Sunday of that week. So thank you.
Thank you. Also, there's an announcement from the clerk per last Thursday. There's books available for anybody, every member of the board who did not by chance pick one up and does want one. Lisa Ort Sundergaard has a book, and the clerk has those for those that did not pick their copy up. Any other announcements? I would like to take a little bit of an opportunity. I know this is not on the agenda, but I'm going to go around because this is the first time that this board has met together. And I would like to have everybody introduce themselves and give just a little bit of background on themselves. I know, again, this is not on the agenda, but again, I will start out. You may know I've had 37 years of accounting background. I ran a tax accounting business, and one of the other things that you may not know about me, I had 6 years in the Air Force in the Special Forces. So I would ask the Vice Chair to announce anything that he wants.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've been on the county board going on 14 years. Prior to that, I retired from a local police department in Marathon County where I worked nearly 30 years in law enforcement. And it's nice to see everybody here, or majority of the people here, and get back to some type of normalcy. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm Jean Mask. I represent District 24. I've been on the board since, I think, 2007. And I have a very rural district in southeastern Marathon County. And it's nice to see all of you.
I'm John Robinson. I've been on the board this time since 2006. I was on the board from 1974 through 80 in earlier life, and retired from the Department of Natural Resources.
So Ka Lo, and I represent District 5, and that's wards 13 and 14. District 5 is very blue collar, very hardworking. And so I was born and raised in Wausau. I went to UWSP. I graduated with a history major. I studied Vietnam and the Cold War. And I was a librarian one time in my life. And so I have some experience in that. So thanks.
My name is Jennifer Arstead, and I've been on the board for a total of 4 days. Just a little more than 4 days. But I am representing District 17 in Rothschild, and I am also a manager at the Eye Clinic of Wisconsin. I manage the 4 optical stores.
Thank you. I'm Al Drivek, and I represent District 31, western part of Marathon County here. And this is my 3rd term, and been enjoying the ride, I guess. So,
Jeff Johnson, I represent District 6. Like the chairman, I'm an Air Force veteran. Served for 4 years, and I was a telecommunications troubleshooter. I retired from the Wisconsin Department of Corrections, where I served retired as a probation and parole agent, where I also served within the union representing the professional social services and all Wisconsin state employees with ASME Council 24 as the chairman of the State Employees Political Action Committee, and numerous other posts. Since retiring, I've worked as a criminal defense consultant and have been on the board since 2018.
Gary Beestrom, District 34. I have been on, I believe this is my 5th term on the board, representing again 34, retired ag educator. And county board is one of the things that keeps me busy.
I'm Supervisor Chris Dickinson from District 29 in the Stratford area. I'm newly elected. I'm also the president of the Stratford School Board. I've had that position for 10 years. I am an IT analyst at the Marshfield Clinic. I've been doing that for 13 years. I was also in the Air Force. I was a meteorologist for 6 years, active duty, and I'm originally from New Jersey.
Jake Langenhan, I represent the great District 35, which is the towns of Marathon, Mosinee, and Ward 2 of the town of Emmett. This is my 4th term on the board. I chair the Environmental Resources Committee. In my day job, I work as an outreach specialist with the Wisconsin Towns Association.
Rick Seepelt, representing District 14. I've been on the board since 2016. I am a retired dairy farmer, but I am now cash cropping and very involved with the fair, as everybody knows. So,
Wow. Where do we start? I've been on the board a long time. I really enjoy the people I've met here. I like to visit with people. I used to dairy farm. I used to be Santa Claus. I used to used to be a town chairman too for like 20 years until we rebuilt the town hall, and you always make somebody angry. Right now I find some time to drive a school bus for the Abbey School District. I haul kids from Curtis to Abbotsford, and I really enjoy it. I just think you're so lucky to be surrounded by this group of people. I thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. I'm Bruce Lamont, retired pastor of 31 years. I used to be at St. Mark's Lutheran Church, served there for 22 years. Lived in Rim Mountain now 25 years. Deer hunter, fisher, golfer, so I'm enjoying my retirement. And my first term as a supervisor for Rim Mountain, the east side there, District 36. So it's good to be on the board and meet some new people, and good to be with you.
Name's Al Christensen. This is my 4th term on the board. I'm a retired heavy equipment operator. I worked all my whole life in construction. Currently, I represent the town of Ringgold in the village, the town of Weston, not the village of Weston. And I'm town chairman in the town of Ringgold, and this is a good job, and I appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Donna Krause. I represent District 10, which was Sherry Abbott's district, and I think she was a board supervisor for quite some time for the county and also city council. I run into her every once in a while, and we chat a little bit. I have a lot of hobbies and interests. I love studying alternative health. I do believe in alternative medicine. And I've gone from being one of the highest paid women in a very large city to being on government assistance, which is like social services type of thing. So I've seen life from the top and from the bottom and in between. I've been a teacher, corporate salesperson. I had my own business, bookstore manager, dress shop owner, and I've led several support groups for women and also people with disabilities like fibromyalgia, TMJ dysfunction, and no MSG. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tom Seibert, District 27. That's the southwest corner of Marathon County. I'm a retired restaurant owner and enjoying retirement with my grandkids.
I'm Dave Oberbeck. I represent District 9 on the far west side and a portion of Stettin. 35 years ago, I came to Wausau and actually as an architect and worked on this building. So a lot of this sitting in here is different. But I serve as an architect in my own practice. 10 years ago, I started my own practice after serving with a local firm here. I served on the Wausau City Council from 2010 to 2016. Thought I was over with politics, but then ended up back on the county board after being asked. So it's been interesting, and I love to do this type of work.
Thank you. My name is Sandy Seiler. I represent District 25, and it's a very rural area. I have 2 complete towns, Bergen and Green Valley, and also a ward in Knowlton and Cleveland and Emmett. So I grew up on a dairy farm. I married the neighbor boy and spent the next 37 years very involved in a 3rd-generation dairy farm. That's where we raised our children. And most of my life, in addition, well, I also worked for several years as a radiological technologist, but most of that time was spent as an advocate for childhood ag injury prevention, working with several groups. And so my passion has always been to make the family farm a safer place to live, work, and play. And that still holds true today. So like many of you, really have enjoyed the experience. I've learned a lot and found out especially how much more I need to learn. So thank you for letting me be part of this.
Hi, Brent Jacobson. I represent wards 1 through 6 in the city of Mosinee, serving here on the county board. I represent wards 1 through 7, also serving as the mayor of the city of Mosinee. This is my first term on the county board. I'm very happy to be here and very excited to see everybody in person for once. I've been serving as the mayor of the city of Mosinee since 2015. I was born and raised in the city of Mosinee and moved back there after law school. My full-time job is practicing as an attorney in private practice in Stevens Point. My wife and I live just by the golf course there in Mosinee. If you drive by there, that's where we are. And just enjoy this. I love doing this. And new news to share with all of you. Found out I'll be a new dad in February, so that's exciting too. But thank you.
Okay, well, I can't top that, I guess. But my name is Allison Leahy. I represent District 11. I've been in Wausau about 10 years now. I have a professional background in graphic design and marketing. I love the Beatles. I love talking about the Beatles. If you ever want to talk music, I'm down. Thanks.
I'm William Harris, and I'm originally from Florida, but I've loved it up here in the Midwest, and I've always thought, or being on the board has been both a blessing and a privilege, and it's great getting to know you all. My background is I'm an attorney. I work for a nonprofit law firm. I represent victims of domestic abuse and sexual assault and child abuse and low-income clients. My passion has always been to help people, and so that's what I'm about. That's the reason I got on the board. I have a law degree and 2 masters in law. I also did a study abroad in Oxford. And really on the board, I'm just looking to continue to move forward and make our community the best it can be. Thank you all.
My name's Alan Opal. I serve, let's see, what is this? 37. Town of Rip Mountain. I've been the chairman out there for 19 years. And if that wasn't enough, I decided to, I was elected in 2003 as the chairman, and if that wasn't enough, I thought, you know, why not run for the county board? And I got elected in 2014. I like to hunt and fish, but there wasn't, after retirement, I thought I can't hunt and fish every day. I've got to have some kind of break, so I took up politics. I served for over 30 years on the Wisconsin Conservation Congress. I was elected by the sportsmen of Marathon County for 10 consecutive 3-year terms, and was on their executive council and vice chair for many years. So I've served the public for a long time. I enjoy it. It's must be in my grain, I guess. So I enjoy serving on the county board. So thank you.
I'm Tim Butke. I represent the village of Marathon, and the majority of the town of Stettin, which is District 33. I've been a lifelong resident of the town of Stettin. Grew up in a dairy farm there, and dairy farm myself for a number of years. Saw which way the money was going, so I then became an ag banker, and that's what I do now. So I work for Nicolay Bank here in Wausau, and have been on the county board since 2016. Interesting tidbit, though. Supervisor Beestrom and I have something in common. We are fraternity brothers. Only Gary's got a few years on me. He's one of those names on the wall I had to memorize to get into the fraternity. So, no, Hayes. It was a professional organization. Very.
I'm Arnie Schley. I'm retired. Was a residential contractor and raised veal for 30-some years. Got, I think it's 11 years on the county board, and I think it's going on 26 or so as chairman in Town Easton, and before that supervisor. So enjoy this. I'm glad to see we're back having meetings in person again. I think we can get a lot more accomplished face to face than we can over the phone. So thank you.
I'm Becky Book. This is my first time also on the board. I'm District 7, and I grew up I was born in California, grew up in Jamaica for 10 years, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, lived for a year in Switzerland, got married and moved to Wisconsin. First of all in Kenosha for about 4 years, then in Wausau for about 40 years. So I've worked in several occupations along the way. Ended up for 17 years in the Wausau School District teaching English as a second language or English language learners, however you know that, and loved that job. Currently, I work part-time. I'm retired, but work part-time for Midwest Professionals, MPPL, you may know it. Love life, so glad that I can be here, excited to get to know you all. It's been a challenging first experience, but I think it's going to progress positively from now on, so thank you.
I'm Tom Rosenberg. I represent District 21 in Weston, and I started out for 13 years as a manufacturer's rep for Zimpro. I worked 20 years as a mechanic at the Weston Power Plant, and I retired as business manager for the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 310 in Green Bay. I'm in my first term, and I'm largely enjoying it and looking forward to it. Thank you.
Bill Conway, District 16 in Schofield and Ward 9 of Weston. For my first term too, I've been at Northern Valley Industries for 25, 26 years. And I enjoy the Robert's Rules of Order because I've got 2 teenagers at home, so I don't get to speak uninterrupted that often. So that I appreciate.
Well, I do want to thank everyone for sharing a little bit on their history, a little bit about themselves. I think when everybody gets to know everybody, we actually work as a board much better. So I want to thank everybody for sharing just a little bit of their personality with everyone. So we will move on. Any other announcements and or requests? Supervisor Christensen.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Could you introduce your new council?
By all means.
I'm Amanda Lee. I'm an attorney at the Corporation Councils as an assistant corporation counsel. I've been with the county for about 2.5 years at this point. I was at the State Public Defender's Office for about 8 years before that and have lived in Wausau just for about 10 and a half years now.
And she's filling in today for the Deputy Corp Counsel, Michael Perner, who will be appointed as the Corporation Counsel in the near future when Scott's position is when he retires from that position and moves to the judge position. So, anything else? Any other announcements and or requests? If not, we'll be down to item I-21. Motion by Supervisor Opal and second by Supervisor Seefeld for adjournment. Any discussion? Again, I remind everybody we need signatures for the entities that I called out. Again, Environmental Resources, Public Safety, Infrastructure, HR Finance, County Board, and Exec. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Same sign. We stand adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Is Philip your... Okay. Yeah, I go way back with Philip. I was at West School.